Hey, Planeswalkers, it's that time again. Last but not least, here, closing in at the end of the day for our Friday night meta, my friends, a weekly series here on the multiverse. So, very excited about that. Appreciate you tuning in. I am yours truly, MetaMaster Mythras here, excited to block, tackle, and show you all things meta related to set you up with the best decks to succeed here this week. So, I'm very excited about this. Flip me a like if you enjoyed today's video. Appreciate you tuning in. Like I said, if you have questions, if you have comments, let me know down below, or feel free to hop on the Discord server. That information's in the details along with the timestamps, where we'll break down standard, historic. We'll go into historic Brawl and give you some recap of some of the cool events from last weekend and how that might be impacting things here today, my friends. So lots of breakdowns across best of one and best of three. Excited for that as well. And thank you once again. That information and other great details on the channel are available to you in the description and great ways to support. So let's go ahead and dive in here on what's happening and all things standard right now. So this is best of one today. In best of one, we still have mono white aggro, mono green stompy taking things down. We do have mono black control. Azor's control has certainly been creeping up in terms of the long game. And by long game, I mean the fact that this is across all levels of play here, from bronze to mythic, in terms of what's happening. So as we look, we start to see some of the changes here continuously, very peaking out of the gate, out of the top. If anything, it's kind of starting to flatten out. Along with mono green, we see some uptick here in our lovely Is It Dragons. Now, again, coming off the back of last weekend's events, which we talked about, you can check out last week, and a few other things kind of moving around and piecemealing just a little bit. Win rates continue to stay kind of steady. The biggest things moving around here, as you can see, is this Azor's control. Again, doing very well in the current meta, particularly when you're running against some of these more creature-based decks, and allowing you to get through that mid-range game and open you up for that late game, my friend. So that's what we got going on in aggregate level. Let's go ahead here, take a look at the more competitive scene. Continues to kind of look like that in terms of what we have going on. So you can see that, so highly reflective of what's happening. And again, similar style here as well. So for those of you, we'll just do our quick time lapse here and dump. So if you want, you can feel free to pause and take a look and get some more of the information on the appropriate tier that you're in here, and hopefully set you up for success. I always like to take a slight pause here because things do change generally within platinum, diamond, and mythic. So we do see Azor's control at the top of mythic. So that is a big piece here. And news for the week. Dimmer control still struggling. We begin to see some of these other things happening there as well. We can see that mono white dropping off and a lot of other things happening here when we begin to look at Azor's control. Big meta, 40-50% between mono white aggro, mono green stompy, a big uplift in Azor's control there as well in best of one. So let's go ahead and we'll bull this all the way back out. We're going to flip over to our best of three. So here's what we got going on best of three. Mono green stompy, Jund Dragons here showing up. So that's pretty interesting. That's a new one here for our best of three. I'm looking forward to seeing what's coming and happening here. Again, at a broad range and capability. Again, this is really kind of that Teamer Treasure stuff, I believe, there as well. We can look at what's going on. The climbing here between the two decks. Is It Dragons, again, following the back of last week's success. You can see a lot of the other stuff happening here too as we take that look. Now, again, this is at a aggregate level. Let's go ahead and drill into our more competitive scene here. So now we're looking at platinum to mythic, which is the competitive space. Here we still got the mono green stompy, mono white aggro, Jund Dragons in there. So Azor's control flipping down towards the bottom there. So very interesting seeing it succeed very well in best of one, but not doing as hot here in best of three. But maybe when we look into a little bit more detail, we'll get a better idea. So we know that in bronze, I always just like to look. Everyone plays Is It Dragons, silver, gold, and these things are pretty fun. When you do get those wins, man, down here, you go up 4 spots, pretty sweet. We got mono black control in there as well. Let's see, when we move to platinum, what do we hit in platinum? We got our Jund Dragons showing up, Azor's control more in the middle, and that is what we're seeing there. Let's go ahead and move it to diamond. Do we get some things move around? We do get a few. Azor's control not doing well, having a really bad win rate there. And last but not least, at the competitive level, here's what we have going on. So again, Jund Dragons, newer one on the list this week. So let's go ahead and actually take a quick look at this and see what we have going on. Again, it does certainly look like what we talked about. Certainly looked like what we talked about. 0 dex matches. It's still showing up. So it's going to be Teamer. Wah, wah, wah. That's all right. That is how these things happen. Let's go back. And there we go. That is, my friends, best of 3 and standard at its finest here today. So let's go ahead and pop over to historic. I'm going to flip back to best of 1. Let's go check out what's happening in historic, certainly because we had a ban hammer and we got a little bit more time now in terms of what's happening. So here's what we got. Selesnya Angels on the uptick again. For best of 1, mono green elves, Jeskai control, mono red aggro, is it 5 color Niv, Gruul shamans, John Food. So this is coming off the back of our lovely trickery ban. We begin to see the win rates or popularity. Mono green elves, Gruul shaman, Jeskai control. And this again still continues to make sense because a lot of the meta is still kind of settling out, so you won't see as big on the decks. Additionally, historic tends to be a little bit more wide. In terms of some of those deck lists, obviously minus trickery decks. So let's go ahead and look at the competitive scene. So here's what we got going on. A couple changes, not too many. We got Jund Food back in there as well. That Gruul Shamans, Selesnya Angels still doing well. Let's go ahead and look across here. Again, a lot of historic, again, doesn't happen until later. These tend to be more expensive decks or players that have played around a lot more or in the competitive scene at times. Certainly fun nonetheless, wherever you're at. So here's a big switch between gold and the platinum. As we continue to move forward the competitive space, we get diamond. Diamond really changes up. We got Selesnya, Squirrel Twin hopping in here. We got mono white humans. Let's go all the way to Mythic and see what we hit. So big change here. So in Mythic, we begin to see Azor's Auras. Could be the 9 lives deck. Actually, no, it couldn't be the 9 lives. It could be the 9 lives deck. But this is actually probably the traditional Auras deck there because I see Luris. We got mono white humans, mono red aggro, Jeskai control, mono red madness. Pretty clean slates, 58 to 53, so pretty tight in terms of the ban. When we look at what's going on here in terms of play, elves being obviously double Jeskai control in terms of play, but everything else pretty fairly spread out. So that's what we have in best of 1 for historic. We will go all the way back out. Let's flip over to best of 3 here and see what we got going on. So best of 3, we got mono red madness crushing it. 5 color Niv being the most played deck. It's definitely a fun deck and certainly one that we've shown here on the channel before. So let's go ahead and continue to see what's happening here. Again, very similar to what we're seeing in best of 1. A couple different win rates. We can see the popularity changing. That 5 color Niv certainly doing very well. Win rates coming down, always tend to get compressed as the meta kind of starts to get sorted out and get figured out. Here in platinum, similar in terms of what we see, that 5 color Niv still being at the top, Selesnya Company still being highly played. Jund, mono red madness though. Very interesting. Not as big of the meta, but again, that's something we always see every now and then. And again, there we go. We can see the trend charts, similar style here. Let's go ahead and we're going to look at everything again. Most likely we won't see much until we hit gold because that is just the way that this happens. There's very little in gold. Let's go check out platinum. So we get in the competitive scene like we said. Pretty resemblant of the broad stuff. Let's see if diamond changes a little bit. Humans at the top, but also less played. Niv's still very high played and on the bottom. Let's look at Mythic. Here we go. couple of changes there. Is it Phoenix back towards the top? We got mono white humans in the middle. Niv at the bottom. Niv still most played. Very, very cool. That's what we have going on in terms of this week's event, my friends. Let's go ahead now. And event not being historic. Let's go ahead and check out historic Brawl, because we like to do this always, see if anything's really changed. We do have some new things in here. We got this one, Joda, Archmage Eternal, very, very high win rate, and 2% here. So that's the new one popping up here. We've seen some changes here. It's always fun to see what people are playing. Winata still Synthis, Harvest Hands in there, Zika, Yorok, Kinnan, all that stuff. So very cool. We see, again, not super heavily here on the top end. Pretty robust in terms of the meta and percent played. We can go ahead and pull that up. We can also see some of these trends here. Like I said, goals used to be a lot more played, certainly dropping off. We see that Kinnan kind of creeping back up and then falling back down there in terms of what is happening, my friends. So let's zoom all the way back out here. I need to take a quick breath and some water, because I've been boom. So again, thank you always for the support. We do have swag. You can pick up a hat or a mug, all that kind of fun stuff. So just want to throw that out there. So far, we've covered all the metadata available to us here on MTG Arena for both historic, standard, and last but not least, historic Brawl in our lovely Innistrad Midnight Hunt meta. All right, so what has happened? Well, a few things in the Discord channel. A lot of us always like to see what people are playing and what they're playing in. We have a few folks in there, Tolker for one, on the channel. You can check it out. I think he's playing tomorrow too. So, and a host of others that might be participating. So with that, the big one that we are going to cover this week is Red Bull. So Red Bull's back in action here, untapped. Huge tournament. 1, 2, 3, 5 people of 5,000. Massive. Huge free event. Very cool. Let's see what happened here. So with that many players, lots of rounds. We go Swiss phase cuts, all kinds of stuff happening here. Jan taking it down with mono green aggro. Very cool here. We got Anthony in there, Frank, Karsten as well. So this guy is pretty popular. I beat Frank, by the way. Yeah, I think I posted that match actually. He didn't like me beating him. Anyway, but hey, I get it. With that, we can see what's happening here. Again, mono green still dominating. Mono white in there. We got, is it dragons? We got our treasures decks. Is it Epiphany? Jund treasures. That's probably the Jund, potentially Jund dragon deck. Looks like it. So very cool. That was the big one. Congrats all of these top players for kicking out and beating down and getting on top of that many. That's a lot. So that's the big tournament. I think there's another one running this weekend, actually. So just want to cover some of these things in terms of what is going on. For those of you that don't know how to use MTG Melee, very cool site to go ahead and check out. The other thing that we can do here is when we go filter our results, let's go ahead and look at format, because we do talk about historic here. So let's see if there's anything big. Last Sunday, we had a fairly big one. Too, we have an untapped Red Bull one. So let's take a look at this, because I want to see if it's all the Niv Mizzet stuff. Whoop, today. Whoopsies. Let's go back, because that's not what we wanted. Date filters last 7 days, last Sunday. All right, let's look at this one. Boom, pizza box. Holy moly. What do we got going on? Niv Mizzet. I did this because I was expecting that, and I did not actually look ahead of time. You guys, let me pull this up. So I was curious on why Niv Mizzet popped so much. Sir Hamilton, must have been because of you. So congrats on that. We can see a lot of these decks. Again, Jund Food, Telesnia Company, a lot of stuff that we covered as well. So I definitely wanted to pop in there and see how it's going. So great stuff there. We got our friend, shout out to Hearsay, as well, Ziggy and Strider, and Hamhocks. So very, very cool. Love the commentary. Very, very awesome. They did a prize pool as well and free entry. So cool. Well, check out. We'll be running some more tournaments here on our Discord as well. So you can certainly have fun, hang out, and join up. Oof. All right. Big breath for us here today. I tried to check out John. We're not going back. Look at that. This week has been insane for me. I did try to make one video this week. I've been going real crazy at work and with baby and family and household events. I did try to make one video. I was on mute for an hour. It was awful. I just went to bed after that. It was terrible. So yeah, good matches. Maybe I'll put that up on the channel, bloopers for those of you that are members, those kinds of things. We'll get back into some of those other cool, fun things for you for that support. So with that, we are going to end this week's Friday Night Meta episode. I hope you enjoyed it. If you got questions, if you got comments, let me know down below. Love to hear from you as always. Feel free, like I keep saying, pop in the Discord server. Quite a few of you popped in this week, so thank you to all the people doing that. We are over about 300 strong. Look forward to doing tournaments here again soon. Last but not least, make sure you stay connected because we got a lot going on and great ways to support the channel and stay on top of things. I do plan to get back to live streaming. I promise. It's been crazy. And then additionally, stay tuned because we got lots of top decks to hit up. Standard, historic. We're going to get some jank. Promise. A whole bunch of things here. Friday Night Meta episodes and our tier lists. I got to get one out for October. We'll see if it happens. I'm working on it. I promise. With that said, Planeswalkers, you stay safe. You take care out there. We'll see you again soon. Good luck to everyone playing the Red Bull tournaments this weekend. Certainly a ferocious list of people, which is pretty cool. So with that, until next time, Planeswalkers, we'll see you again. Mythras out, and you stay safe. Happy Friday Night Meta.